The people who hurt us the most are never strangers. They are the ones we trust with our deepest secrets, our biggest dreams, and our most vulnerable moments. These are the friends who know exactly where to strike because we have shown them our weak spots. The family members who understand our fears because we have shared them openly. The partners who can destroy us completely because we have given them the keys to our hearts. What makes betrayal so devastating is not just the act itself, but the fact that it comes from someone we never saw coming. Someone who was sitting at our dinner table just last week. Someone who was celebrating our victories and comforting us during our losses. Someone who looked us in the eye and made promises they never intended to keep. But here is what most people do not realize. Betrayal does not happen overnight. It is not a sudden decision that people make out of nowhere. There are warning signs that show up weeks, sometimes months before the actual betrayal takes place. There are specific behaviors that people display when they are planning to turn against you. And once you learn these signs, you will never be caught off guard again. Today we are going to expose the 5 things people do before they betray you. These are the exact patterns that happen every single time. This information is extremely crucial and could save you from devastating heartbreak. Do not skip any part of this video because each point builds on the next one. If you want to save time, watch this at 1.5 or 2 times speed instead of jumping around. Now let me ask you something. When someone wants to rob a bank, do they just walk in and start grabbing money? Of course not. They spend weeks studying the security system, watching the guards, and figuring out when the place is most vulnerable. Well, guess what? People who are planning to betray you work the exact same way. They do not just wake up one morning and decide to stab you in the back. No, they spend weeks, sometimes months, carefully testing how much they can get away with. Here is the first thing people do before they betray you. They start testing your boundaries like they are conducting a science experiment. And you know what is really funny about this? Most of us actually help them do it. We make it so easy for them that they probably think we are handing them a manual on how to hurt us. Think about it. When someone you trust tells your secret to someone else, what do? You probably say something like, "Hey, I asked you not to share that." And what do they say back? "Oh, I am sorry. I did not think it was a big deal." Then they give you that innocent look, like they accidentally stepped on your shoe instead of deliberately stomping on your trust. But here is what is really happening. They are not making an innocent mistake. They are mapping your reaction. They want to see if you will get really angry, if you will let it slide, or if you will make excuses for them. They are basically asking themselves, how much can I push this person before they push back? And it gets even more interesting. They will do this with small things first. They might borrow $20 and take forever to pay you back. They might show up 30 minutes late to dinner and act like it is no big deal. They might make a promise to help you move, then cancel at the last minute with some excuse about their cousin's dog getting sick. Each time they do this, they are watching your reaction like a hawk. If you say, "It is okay, these things happen," they just learned something very important about you. They learned that you will accept disrespect if they package it with an excuse. They learned that you value keeping the peace more than standing up for yourself. They learned that you will make their problems your problems. The really sneaky part is how they respond when you finally do speak up. Let us say you get tired of them being late all the time, so you tell them how it makes you feel. Instead of apologizing and changing their behavior, they will say something like, "Wow, I did not know you were so sensitive about time," or "I thought you were more laid back than that." Notice what they just did. They made you the problem. They made you feel like there is something wrong with you for having normal expectations. This is not an accident. This is a strategy. They are conditioning you to doubt yourself and to accept their behavior. And here is the part that will really blow your mind. They will often test the same boundary multiple times just to make sure they have it figured out. So if you let them get away with being late once, they will be late again. If you let them get away with it twice, they will be late a third time. They are not just forgetful or disorganized. They are systematically figuring out exactly where your limits are. Why do they do this? Because they are creating a pattern where you normalize their disrespectful behavior. They are training you to accept less and less until you do not even remember what it felt like to be treated with respect. By the time they are ready to deliver the final betrayal, you will have already been conditioned to make excuses for them. Now, do you know what is really heartbreaking about the second thing people do before they betray you? It happens during the moments when you feel closest to them. Picture this. You are having one of those deep, meaningful conversations where you feel like you can share anything. Maybe you are talking about your biggest fears, your most embarrassing moments, or the things that keep you up at night. You feel so grateful to have someone who really listens and understands you. But what you do not realize is that while you are being open and vulnerable, they are building a case file against you. They are not just listening to be a good friend. They are collecting information that they can use against you later. Here is how this looks in real life. Let us say you tell them about how you struggled with confidence in high school because kids made fun of the way you looked. In that moment, you feel so much better because you finally shared something you have been carrying around for years. You think they are being supportive when they ask follow-up questions like, "What exactly did they say to you?" Or, "How did it make you feel when that happened?" But here is what is really happening. They are not asking these questions because they want to help you heal. They are asking because they want to understand exactly what words will hurt you the most. They are figuring out exactly where to aim when they are ready to take you down. Or maybe you share with them about a mistake you made at work that almost got you fired. You tell them how scared you were and how you learned from it. You think you are having a moment of real connection, but they are actually taking mental notes about your professional vulnerabilities. They are learning about your weaknesses so they can exploit them later. The really twisted part is how good they get at making you want to share more. They become the perfect listener. They make you feel like you can tell them anything. They remember details about your life that even you forget. They ask questions that make you feel like they really care about understanding you. But here is a question that will make you think differently about some of your relationships. Have you ever noticed someone who seems to know more about your life than they should? Someone who brings up old conversations in weird contexts? Someone who asks questions that feel slightly invasive but they frame them as concern? Maybe they say things like, "I was just thinking about what you said about your relationship with your dad when you never brought up your dad." Or they ask questions like, "Are you still worried about that thing with your boss when you only mentioned it once, months ago?" These are not signs of someone who cares deeply about you. These are signs of someone who is systematically cataloging your weaknesses, fears, and sensitive information. They are building ammunition for later manipulation or public humiliation. Think about the people in your life who know your deepest secrets. Are they the same people who sometimes make you feel uncomfortable with how much they remember? Are they the same people who bring up your past mistakes when you are having disagreements? Are they the same people who seem to know exactly what to say to make you feel small? This is not just about people being good listeners. This is about people who are strategically gathering intelligence about you. And the scariest part is that they often do this for months or even years before they use any of it against you. If you are getting value from this information and you want to support the work we are doing here, you can leave a donation by clicking the thanks button just below this video. Every bit helps us continue exposing these patterns that most people never see coming. Let's keep the ball rolling. Now, this third thing is going to change the way you look at every relationship in your life. And I am not exaggerating when I say that once you see this pattern, you will never miss it again. This is the moment when everything you thought you knew about reading people gets turned upside down. Here is what happens. They start pulling away emotionally while pretending everything is perfectly normal. And this is not just them being busy or going through a rough patch. This is a calculated move to make the eventual betrayal easier on themselves. Because here is the truth that most people never understand. It is much easier to hurt someone when you have already emotionally disconnected from them. Think about someone in your life who used to be really close to you, but now something feels different. Maybe their text messages used to be long and personal, but now they are short and generic. Maybe they used to call you just to talk, but now they only respond when you reach out first. Maybe they used to remember little details about your life, but now they seem distracted when you are talking. But here is the confusing part. They still show up to group events. They still like your social media posts. They still act friendly when other people are around. So when you try to figure out what is wrong, you start questioning yourself. You think maybe you are being too sensitive or reading too much into things. This is exactly what they want. They want you to be confused and to doubt your own instincts. Because while you are busy wondering if something is wrong, they are busy preparing to hurt you. They are psychologically preparing themselves to betray you by slowly dehumanizing the relationship in their own mind. And here is the most devastating part. When you finally get the courage to bring up the distance, they gaslight you. They make you feel needy or clingy for noticing that they have changed. They say things like, "I have been really busy lately," or "I do not know what you're talking about. Everything is fine." They make you feel like you are the problem for wanting the same level of connection you used to have. But let me tell you something that will blow your mind. This emotional withdrawal is not random. It is not because they are stressed or dealing with personal issues. It is because they are getting ready to do something that will hurt you, and they need to care less about you in order to do it. Think about the last time someone really hurt you. Was there a period before the betrayal where they seemed different? Where they seemed less interested in your life, less excited about your successes, less supportive during your struggles? Where conversations felt more surface level than they used to? This is not just about people growing apart naturally. This is about people who deliberately create emotional distance because they know what is coming. They know they are about to do something that will destroy your trust, so they start caring less about you to make it easier on themselves. And here is what makes this so cruel. You can feel the distance, but you cannot quite put your finger on what is wrong. You know something has changed, but they keep telling you everything is fine. You start to feel like you are going crazy because your instincts are telling you one thing, but their words are telling you another. This is exactly where they want you. Confused, doubting yourself, and desperate to get back to the way things used to be. Because while you are focused on trying to fix the relationship, they are focused on preparing to end it in the most devastating way possible. Now, if you are finding this information valuable and you want to support the channel and the work we are doing here, beyond just smashing that subscribe button, you can leave a donation by clicking the thanks button just below this video. Your support helps us continue bringing you insights that can genuinely protect you from these devastating experiences. Now let us continue. What I am about to share with you is perhaps the most sinister thing people do before they betray you, and it is a lesson that you absolutely cannot afford to take for granted. This is the moment when they stop just preparing to hurt you and start preparing everyone else to be okay with it when they do. Before they betray you, they start telling a story where you are the bad guy. They begin rewriting the entire history of your relationship to justify the devastating thing they are about to do to you. And here is what makes this so heartbreaking. They do this while you still trust them completely. Think about how twisted this is. While you're still sharing your deepest thoughts with them, while you're still counting on them as one of your closest friends, they are already talking to other people about how difficult you are to deal with. They are already planting seeds that will grow into the justification for your betrayal. Here is how this looks in real life, and I want you to really feel the weight of this. Let us say you had a disagreement with them last month about something small. Maybe you were upset because they cancelled plans at the last minute, or maybe you felt hurt because they forgot something important to you. In the moment, you worked it out, you moved on, and you thought everything was fine. But what you did not know is that they have been telling other people a completely different version of that story. They have been telling people how unreasonable you were, how you overreacted, how difficult it was for them to deal with you. They have been painting themselves as the patient, understanding friend who has been putting up with your impossible behavior. And here is the most devastating part. They are doing this to people in your social circle. They are having private conversations with your mutual friends, slowly convincing them that you are the problem in the relationship. They are taking your words out of context and sharing them with others. They are making comments that plant doubt about your character. So when they finally do betray you, when they finally reveal their true intentions, people will not be shocked. People will not rally around you and ask how they could do such a thing. Instead, people will say, "I saw this coming," or "I always thought something was off about that friendship." This is not just about them trying to make themselves feel better about what they are planning to do. This is about them strategically gathering allies who will support them when the betrayal happens. They are making sure that when you are hurting and looking for support, you will find that many of your friends have already been turned against you. And here is what makes this so cruel. They often do this by making passive-aggressive comments disguised as jokes. They might say something like, "Oh, you know how sensitive they are about that," or "They always get upset when things do not go their way." They sound like they are being playful, but they are actually conditioning people to see you as difficult and unreasonable. Think about the relationships in your life where you have started to feel like you are walking on eggshells, where mutual friends sometimes give you looks that you do not understand, where you feel like there are conversations happening that you are not part of, where people seem to know things about your business that you never shared with them. These are not just signs of normal social dynamics. These are signs that someone is systematically undermining your reputation and positioning themselves as the victim of your relationship. They are preparing the ground so that when they hurt you, everyone will think you deserved it. The most painful part of this is that you often do not realize it is happening until it is too late. You trust them, so you never think to question why your friends are acting differently. You never think to wonder why certain people seem to know more about your personal life than they should. You never think to ask why some of your relationships feel strained for reasons you cannot identify. And by the time you do realize what has been happening, the damage is already done. Your reputation has been quietly destroyed. Your support system has been compromised. And you are left wondering how someone you trusted so completely could have been working against you for so long. This is why you can never take these warning signs for granted. Because the people who are planning to betray you are not just planning to hurt you. They are planning to make sure you have nowhere to turn when they do. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about the people you trust most in your life. The ones who know your dreams, your plans, your fears, your secrets. The ones who could destroy your life if they wanted to, because you have given them all the tools they would need to do it. Are you thinking about them? Good. Now I want you to consider something that might make you feel uncomfortable. What if I told you that the person who is going to hurt you the most is already making moves behind your back? What if I told you that while you are still trusting them completely, they are already taking action that will devastate you? What if the betrayal is not something that is going to happen in the future, but something that is already happening right now? Here is the fifth and final thing people do before they betray you, and this is the one that will haunt you once you understand it. While you still trust them completely, they are already making calculated moves that will destroy you. The actual betrayal starts long before you discover it. Think about your current situation. Are there things in your life that are going wrong in ways that just do not make sense? Are there opportunities that you were excited about that suddenly disappeared? Are there people who are treating you differently for reasons you cannot understand? Are there pieces of information about yourself floating around that you never shared publicly? What if these things are not random? What if they are not just bad luck or coincidence? What if someone you trust is actively working against you and you just have not figured it out yet? Let me paint you a picture that might feel familiar. Maybe you told them about a job opportunity you were excited about. You shared all the details because you trust them and you wanted them to be part of your excitement. But then somehow that opportunity disappeared. Maybe the position was filled by someone else. Maybe the company decided to go in a different direction. Maybe you never heard back after what seemed like a promising interview. What you did not know is that they applied for the same position using the information you shared with them. Or maybe they contacted the company and shared information about you that made them reconsider your candidacy. Or maybe they simply planted seeds of doubt about your qualifications or your character. Or maybe you shared with them about someone you were interested in dating. You told them about your feelings, your plans, your hopes. You asked for their advice because you trusted their judgment. But then somehow things went wrong. Maybe that person lost interest in you. Maybe they started dating someone else. Maybe they suddenly saw you differently. What you did not know is that your trusted friend was flirting with them, sharing your private information about them, or deliberately sabotaging your chances because they wanted them for themselves. Here is what makes this so devastating. They do not just make these moves behind your back. They also cover their tracks perfectly. When you are around them, they act completely normal. They might even increase their affection toward you to throw you off. They have explanations ready for any suspicious behavior. They make you feel paranoid if you question anything. So when bad things start happening in your life, you never think to connect them to your trusted friend. You think it is just bad luck. You think it is just life being unfair. You think it is just a series of unfortunate coincidences. You never think that someone you love and trust could be actively working to make your life worse. But here is the cruel reality that you need to understand. By the time you discover the betrayal, it has already happened. The discovery phase is just the reveal of what has already been done. All those unexplained problems, all those mysterious disappointments, all those strange coincidences were not random at all. They were the result of someone you trusted using your vulnerability against you. Think about the last time someone really betrayed you. When you look back now, can you see a pattern of things going wrong in your life before you discovered what they had done? Can you see signs that they were working against you while you still trusted them completely? This is why the betrayal hurts so much. It is not just about what they did to you. It is about how long they were doing it while you still loved them. It is about how they looked you in the eye and pretended to care about you while they were actively destroying your life behind your back. And here is the most painful part. If you are experiencing this right now, if there are things in your life that are not making sense, if you are feeling like someone might be working against you, you are probably right. Trust your instincts. Trust that feeling in your gut that something is wrong. Because the people who are planning to betray you are counting on you to ignore those feelings and to keep trusting them until it is too late. You now know the 5 things people do before they betray you. You understand how they test your boundaries, collect information against you, create distance while maintaining a facade, position themselves as the victim, and make calculated moves behind your back. You have the knowledge that most people never get until it is too late. So let me ask you this. What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to watch this video, nod your head, and then go right back to the same patterns that make you vulnerable to betrayal? Are you going to ignore the red flags when you see them because it feels easier to hope for the best? Are you going to keep giving people unlimited access to your vulnerable side without making sure they deserve it? Because if you do, if you go back to your old ways after watching this video, then you are choosing to be a victim. You are choosing to ignore the warning signs that could save you from devastating heartbreak. You are choosing to trust people who have not earned your trust, and you are choosing to make yourself an easy target for people who want to hurt you. The brutal truth is this: betrayal is preventable if you are willing to pay attention to the patterns. The information is devastating if you are willing to act on what you have learned. The heartbreak is avoidable if you are willing to set boundaries and stick to them. From now on, you need to document suspicious behavior. You need to set stronger boundaries with people who show these signs. You need to build a support network of truly trustworthy people. You need to protect your sensitive information better. You need to learn to trust your instincts when something feels off. Most importantly, you need to understand that not everyone deserves access to your vulnerable side. You need to recognize the difference between healthy relationships and transactional ones. You need to build emotional resilience so that if betrayal does happen, it does not destroy you. The choice is yours. You can use this knowledge to protect yourself and spot these patterns early, or you can ignore it and remain vulnerable to people who want to hurt you. But do not say nobody warned you. Do not say you did not see it coming, because now you know exactly what to look for. Share this information with people you care about. Help them protect themselves from the devastating experience of betrayal, because knowledge is only powerful when it is used to make positive changes in our lives. The YouTube algorithm knows exactly what video will serve you best next, so click on that suggested video popping up on your screen right now. It is specifically chosen to continue your journey of growth and protection.